Good day, welcome to our podcast. My name is Elam and I'm with Noxolo Elam. Today we are going to explore how the film and theory meet in the stories that shape our global world. We are unpacking Stephen Freira's Dirty Pretty Things, a film that digs deep into the hidden corners of globalization, immigration, and survival in London's underbelly.
Yes, that is a very powerful piece. It was released in 2002 and was written by Stephen Knight. Dirty Pretty Things tells us the story of Okwe, a Nigerian doctor living as an undocumented immigrant in London, and Sine, a Turkish asylum seeker. Both are trapped in London's shadow economy, working long hours, hiding from authorities, and facing exploitation every day.
It's a film that strips globalization down to the body. You see how the global city, London, runs on the invisible labor. Behind the glossy image of cosmopolitan success lies this darker network of migrants doing their dirty work that keeps everything functioning.
What's fascinating is how the film uses London itself as a symbol of globalization. The city is diverse, fast paced, and filled with opportunities, but that's only one side of it. Beneath the surface, there's an entire hidden economy, people without papers, working in hotels, driving taxis, cleaning rooms.
Exactly, the hotel in particular becomes this microcosm of the global city. It's a transient space. People are constantly arriving and leaving, but for the workers, it's a kind of prison. They are invisible to the guest, but crucial to keeping the pretty side of the city running.
That contrast is captured in the film's title, Dirty Pretty Things. The pretty represents globalization's glossy promises, modernity, luxury, cosmopolitanism, while the dirty represents the labor, exploitation, and the desperation that sustains those illusions.
It's globalization's hidden face. We see the flow of people and goods, but not the exploitation that allows the flow to happen. And the film really humanizes those left behind by the system, the ones who clean up after the global elite.
Now, one of the most striking aspects of Dirty Pretty Things is how the body becomes a kind of border. The discovery of human hearts clogging in the toilet is shocking, but also deeply symbolic.
Right, that moment says it all. The human heart, literally stuck in the plumbing system, represents how the global economy depends on consuming bodies and how humanity gets trapped with that machinery.
Exactly. The film makes visible what's often invisible. The way migrants' bodies become commodities, whether it's physical labor, sexual labor, or in this case, organ trafficking. The body becomes the side of where the inequalities of globalization are written.
And what's even more powerful is how the body is a both a site of exploitation and resistance. Okwe uses his medical knowledge, his body and mind to save others. Sine's body, meanwhile, is constantly threatened by sexual violence, by the Aslam system, by men like Sneaky who exploit her, yet she still finds moments of agency and dignity.
That brings us perfectly to Emily Davis's essay, The Intimacies of Globalization, Bodies and Borders on Screen. Davis argues that globalization isn't just about economic systems or borders, it's also about intimacy, the everyday life, and ways people experience global forces through their bodies and relationships.
Yes, she talks about intimate globalization, the idea that the big global processes we usually think of in abstract terms are actually lived through small personal experiences. The way people touch, care for, and depend on one another becomes political.
And Dirty Pretty Things fits that perfectly. The relationship between Orke and Sine isn't overly romantic, but it's deeply intimate. Their care for one another becomes the way to resist world that constantly dehumanizes them.
It's what Davies calls intimate resistance. They might not have power in the global system, but they have power in how they treat each other. Their compassion, their refusal to exploit one another is itself a moral rebellion against the economy of exploitation that surrounds them.
That's beautifully said. Even within a system that trades human hearts and kidneys, they choose empathy over profit. That's radical, and that's what makes Davis' framework as relevant. She helps us see how global inequality can often also produce more forms of emotional solidarity.
Another powerful theme Davies helped us to illuminate is how globalization creates new types of borders, not just physical ones between nations, but emotional and bodily borders.
The hotel setting is full of these in between spaces. It's a borderland, not quite home, not quite foreign. Migrants like Oko and Sine live within the global economy but remain legally and socially excluded from it.
And yet, within those borders, there is community, the hotel staff, all migrants create a kind of underground network of care and solidarity. They share food, information, and even protection. It's a quiet form of resistance that Davis would call intimate, relational, and embodied.
And when Okwa refuses to sell organs for money, instead choosing to save Sine and expose the crime, is a moment of moral clarity. His decision resects the logic of commodification. It's him reclaiming the humanity in a system that only sees his body as disposable.
So, if we bring it all together, Dirty Pretty Things is not just a thriller about organ trafficking, it's a film about how globalization feels, how it is lived and endured through the body.
And Davis gives us the vocabulary to see that globalization isn't distant or abstract, it's intimate, emotional, and embodied. The body becomes both the product and the protest of global capitalism.
Through Ogwe and Sine, we see that even in a world where human life can be prized, care still matters. Intimacy can become a form of resistance, a way of holding on to dignity when system want to strip it away.
Absolutely. It's an haunting reminder that every global story is also a personal one written on the body.
The film also highlights the commodification of labor and organs, where human bodies are treated as goods to be bought and sold. This is evident in the organ trade plotline, where immigrants are coerced into selling their kidneys for forged passport. The film reveals the power dynamics in intimidate or exploitative relationships, where the vulnerability of immigrants is exploited by those in positions of power.
Dirty Pretty Things is a film that represents the complex relationship between globalization, borders, and the body through its portrayal of immigrant experiences. The film highlights the need to acknowledge and challenge the exploitation of vulnerable population.
Emily Davies' article offers valuable insights into the film's representation of globalization and its impact on human bodies and borders. By analyzing the film through Davies' lens, we gain a deeper understanding of the ways in which globalization shapes our lives and our bodies.
Before we wrap things up, let me ask you a quick question. What do you think about Okwe and Sine's portrayal in the film?
The character's complex situation highlights the desperation and resilience of migrants facing exploitation.
Okay.
So, my question to you is, do you think the title Dirty Pretty Things effectively convey the film's message?
Yes, the title conveys the film's gritty, hidden aspect of exploitation effectively. And that's a wrap for today's podcast. Thank you for joining us.